So something new that you learned for today going through your Zybook is that the methods that we create for a class can generally be categorized into two different general types of methods. And we've got our accessors and our mutators. And these are, not everybody uses these exact terms, but hopefully you get the idea of what they are. And basically all of the methods, or most of the methods that we create for a class, the whole point of those methods is to actually do something with the data that's stored for a particular object. Okay, so a car could have some data items like we've talked about in the past, like you could have a speed and a driver name and some things like that. So there's could be data we want to store for a particular car. And then the methods, what the methods do is they actually do something with that data. So the accessors, as you read, are the methods that actually just go get that data. Okay? And one thing we're going to talk about in just a minute is that the data by default, or in most cases, the data is considered private. And what that means is that other programs can't just get directly at the data. They have to get the data by using one of these accessor methods. So that's the main point of the accessor methods. The accessor method will go actually get the data and return it to whoever is looking for it. Okay, the mutator methods are the ones that actually set the values for the data or update or change the values for the variables of the data. Okay, so those methods are going to be the ones that are going to say, okay, we've got some data stored, a speed for a car, et cetera, et cetera. So a mutator method is going to actually do something to change that speed or change the driver names or set the speed or set the driver name. Okay, so we again generally have these two types of methods. And I want you to look over here at this example of some code that actually creates a car object and then calls some methods. And I want you to think, okay, which of these methods, so we've got an increase speed method here, and we've got a get speed method. Which of these methods it would be considered an accessor, and which of these methods would be considered a mutator? So think about that for a minute. And again, pause the video if you need to, and then I'll discuss that. Okay, so get speed is certainly an accessor. Okay, an accessor, matter of fact, a lot of people call accessor methods, they call them getters, because the whole point of them is to go get the value of something. So the get speed is something that just says, all right, I'm going to go get the value, or I'm going to access the value of a particular car's speed. So essentially, you can imagine again that there's some variable here called speed. Okay, I didn't actually write it here, but there's a variable called speed, and every car has a particular speed. Get speed is a method that can be called on a particular car, like just to get what its speed is. So what is the value of that variable for the car? Okay, increase speed is a mutator, right? That's something that actually changes the value of the speed of a car. So in this particular case, I didn't write all the code here, so I don't know what the particular speed is at the time, but let's just say a car is going 50 miles an hour. Okay, increase speed changes that. So if there's a variable called speed, and for this particular car it's set at 50 right now, okay, increase speed changes that. So the whole point of calling increase speed is to actually go in to some of the data stored for that car, in this case it's speed, and actually change it in some way. In this case we're actually changing it by increasing it by 2 miles per hour. So now the speed would be 52 miles per hour. Okay, so hopefully you get that general concept. I think it was explained fairly well in the Zybook, but I think the big picture, again, trying to think about big picture over and over again, is that these methods, the whole point of almost all the methods in a class is to do something with the data, whether it's to get access to it and actually return a value, or whether it's to change the value of the data.